baby steps in the fight for immigration reform. About a dozen new pieces of legislation were introduced by a group of GOP senators this morning, so-called bite-sized steps said to be achievable goals for Congress. One of them, jail time for illegal border jumpers. Roy Beck is the executive director of Numbers USA, the nation's largest immigration reduction group, wanting to reduce immigration, both legal and illegal immigration. So thank you for being with us. What about this new legislation that they've brought up? Does this look like it might help the issue?
Well, very much. It really puts attrition through enforcement right on the front burner. Last year and the year before, amnesty as the solution to illegal immigration or legalization was what was up front. Back in the 1950s, mass deportation was up front. But this is attrition through enforcement, and these are measures that will not only send the signal back to other countries that it's not worth trying to come here, but it also will cause the illegal population that's already here to decline. That is, it'll cause illegal aliens to buy their own bus tickets, their own plane tickets, and go back home.
Now, some of the measures in here would require jail time for those caught crossing the borders, make it harder for them to open bank accounts, communicate in English at federal agencies, extend the National Guard on the border, block federal funding to cities that bar police from asking about immigration status, and also take away 10% of the federal highway funds to states that give illegal aliens driver's licenses, legal driver's licenses. Do you think that's the key to it, holding money?
Well, the key to attrition through enforcement is to take away the things that illegal aliens broke the law to get. And primarily, they broke the law to get a job. You didn't happen to mention probably the most important of all the measures they introduced today was to require mandatory verification, to basically take the jobs away from illegal aliens. But they came to get jobs. They also come to get taxpayer-funded benefits. All of these measures are to make it uncomfortable, unpleasant to live as an illegal alien here. And if you do that, you will see people starting to go back home.
Republican senators make it very clear they're doing this because it pressures the Democrats during an election year. But on the House side, you've got Representative Heath Shuler, a freshman congressman from North Carolina, and that Democrat is the one who's putting forth one of these enforcement-only policies where you do exactly that, go after the enforcement angle of this first and foremost and solely at this point. Does that give you greater hope that something actually might finally get through, because you've got both Republicans in the Senate and now Democrats and Republicans in the House that are saying we got to enforce it?
Well, there's no question that there's a growing bipartisan group that is I think is a majority in both the House and coming in the Senate. And by the way, that bipartisan bill that was sponsored by Heath Shuler, the Democrat in the House, it's also been sponsored by Democrat Senator Pryor from Arkansas, as well as Republican Senator Vitter from Louisiana. So there's bipartisan effort in the Senate as well. The Republicans today, though, are going on the basis that there are very few Democrats right now in the Senate who are standing up for the workers to try to save the jobs for the American workers. And I think the Republicans are really they're pushing it. Either they're going to get these bills through and the American workers will be better off, or the Democratic leadership in the Senate will block it, and the Republicans will have a great campaign issue in the fall.
Well, we'll see if it turns out to just be a campaign ploy or something that actually benefits the nation. Roy Beck, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Executive Director of Numbers USA.